Hey, well, guys, we're back and we're live. This is Dr. John L. Mack, and I'm so excited and delighted to be once again in your presence to share information for your transformation. This week I was just scrolling through, doing some research on a book for a client, and I ran across something that was kind of unusual. A major influencer had written a book that was trending extremely well. This book has made this client uh, literally millions of dollars, and that's great. The thing is, the ebook version of that book was priced at $13.97, and I said that's an odd number. Now, and let me just share this with you. Often, um, influencers and different experts will they will price their book at an odd price to get your attention. Well, it got my attention, and as I looked at this price, I was kind of taken aback because at 13.97, of course, it has all the metrics to keep you engaged and interested and just a little bit, curious as to why the price was specific at 13.97 instead of $14 or what have you. But that wasn't the difficult part. The part that got me, that confused and concerned me, was that price is outside of the measurable metric that will get you the maximum value for your for the dollar. In other words, that price leaves much money on the table, and as a major influencer, you would think that they would have either themselves or their team would be able to tell them, hey, listen, you've got this price at this price right here, and the Amazon metrics say that you'll get 35% commission off of that. So when you write an ebook, um, I'm teaching so that you'll be able to understand how to get the maximum value, how to monetize in the maximum manner possible, so that you don't leave money on the table and that you continue to move forward. So before I complete the story of this $13 ebook, I want to just talk to you about the book. Period. What is the purpose? Why are you writing a book? Geez, oh Pete, let's just come straight to the bottom line. Why are you writing a book? Most of us write a book for a vanity experience or just to get it out to purchase. There's something therapeutic about the process of writing a book. That's why it often takes years, because you have to come to grips with a lot of emotions and a lot of isms. But in today's market, because the book publishing game is no longer some far away, lofty goal that most of us never reach, because we get these letters, rejection letter after rejection letter, saying, no, you're not good enough. No, we don't want you. And so that's caused most people to get really, really daunted about, hey, what writing a book is so hard, it's so tough. And so but they all want to write a book. They say 99% of the population want to write a book, but sadly, only about 1 or 2% actually write the book. So the question becomes, what's the purpose? Why are you writing the book in the first place? Now, in this formula here, the PB4X, the online success formula, we take the puzzle out of profit. We say, okay, when you are intentional about what you're doing, when you're writing the book from a position of intentionality, you start off saying, okay, I want to write a book. I'm a subject matter expert in XYZ, or I have this experience, or I have this expertise, and I want to share it with the world. Won't it be great? Well, you start off, you write this book, you begin sharing it, and crickets. You're like, oh my God, I spent all this time, this money, preparing and getting ready for it and doing everything and trying to get this book written. I've got it written. It's a #1 bestseller. As a matter of fact, Dr. Mack, with his GPS system, guaranteed it will be a #1 bestseller. And lo and behold, I'm a #1 bestseller on Amazon. Not an easy feat, but not difficult either. So in many cases, that's all someone is looking for, to say, hey, I got the validation of saying that I'm a published author and that my book ranked was a bestseller on some platform. Great. If that's all you wanted to do, then you probably are going to look at what I'm getting ready to share with you as way more than you thought or that you conceived or believed would be necessary to put a book into the arena. So when you write a book, and using the PB4X formula especially, when you write a book, you have a sequential goal in mind. First off is to publish the book. A published book is the first part of it. Now, a lot of people will argue with me. It's not necessary. That's just some old guru trying to tell you how to. No, you look at most of your successful politicians, many thought leaders, influencers. They have a book, and then they leverage that book to get the look, so they can have the hook for the people would not only buy their book, but book them to speak, book them to be a coach, consultant, book them to teach a class, a course, a curriculum, book them to come to conference, to speak at conferences or have their own. See, that's the aim of the book. You want to write the book, so now you've got the hook, so people will take a look. And once the book is written, it is the low-hanging fruit. The book is gonna. This book is about, it's going to cost you about $2 or $3. Okay, you're going to sell it for, 15 to 20 bucks. Let's say $20. In order to hit a home run with this book and enter the 5, 6, 7 lifestyle. Now, of course, I'm going to have to take another rabbit hole and tell you what the 5, 6, 7 lifestyle is. Now, the 5, 6, 7 lifestyle says this: that you want to earn 5 figures a month. That's 10,000 to 99,990, 99,000. You want to have 6 figures a year, so at least 100,000, but all the way up to $999,000, and that you want to have a 7-figure future. Okay, so that's what the 5, 6, 7 lifestyle is. That's what people are looking to do. So in order to hit $100,000 with your book, you'd have to sell at $20. You'd have to sell 5,000 copies. Okay, mathematics. We're just going to talk math this morning. So if you to sell 5,000, so and the average. Now let's get into the averages and the ordinaries, because that's where most people fail at, is being average and ordinary. The average author, a self-published author, sells between 250 to 500 copies of their book. Now I'm letting the cat out the bag. I ain't scared of nobody. So if you only sell in 250 to 500, let's just use let's say 500. You sell 500 copies of your book at $19. So you made $1,000. No, you made $10,000. Okay, wow, that's pretty good. So, but you wanted to make $100,000, so you fell far short. 10,000 is great. Hey, man, you got most of your money back, maybe from if you were wise enough and got a good publishing coach to help you with the construction and production and publication. So you got your money back, and you said, okay, I'm a published author, and I've hit some milestones. I'm okay. Pat yourself on the back and go on. Those that embrace the PB4X formula said, that ain't good enough. That's just the beginning. That I want that to be 1 month and every month. So what do you do? So you need to sell 500 copies a month and sell 5,000 a year in order to reach that 100,000 mark, and then continue to scale beyond that. Well, the problem becomes that most people are not intentional about the purpose of their book. They're just going out, writing a book, and getting Kevin Costner on us. Kevin Costner told us, if you build it, they will come. And that esoteric experience became what everybody was searching for. I'm going to build a field of dreams. I'm going to write the book. I'm going to do this and do that. And it's going to become monumental. I'll go viral. I'll make a lot of money, and life will be wonderful. And then reality hits in. But that gum, I wrote the book, they're not coming, they're not buying it automatically. You've got to promote. If you look at everything online, it's about promoting it to a point where you've got visibility, because visibility equals credibility, and credibility is what leads to profitability. So this is the formula. This is the what we're looking to do. We're looking to achieve. We're saying, okay, the published book. Anybody can write a book with today's technology, and everybody has a book in them, but nobody can read a book that's never been written. So we want to take that technology, create your book, and create a look so that there's a hook so you can pull them into your ecosystem. So this is why we write the book. This is why, we're experiencing what they're calling the Great Resignation, where people are resigning from the corporate structure. They're stepping away from being an employee. When you look at the spectrum, you got employee, you got entrepreneur. That's the person that works for themselves. The employee works for someone else. On the other side of that quadrant, you got the influencer and the investor. Now, the employee works for someone else, and they're trading time for dollars. The entrepreneur works for themselves, and they're doing the same thing, trading time for dollars. But when you leverage that to the point where you come up on the other side, the I side of the quadrant, and you become an influencer, where your influence, just like the young man that just recently died, Kevin Samuels, I believe. Awesome influencer, almost 1.5 or 6 million followers. So he would say something and all these people would jump on board and listen, comment, or be influenced by him. So much so that corporations will put in their ad budget to connect with influencers and have an influencer wear their product or promote their product, and they pay him a lump sum or her a lump sum, and everything is wonderful. So this gentleman was an influencer, all these millions of followers, and he passed away. Now, I had just discovered him the previous week, and when I say controversial, he was out the chart. Now, truth hurts sometimes. He was just bringing it to you raw. And the last broadcast was, it opened some very serious questions and caused a lot of people to get angered and what have you. But he was an influencer. As an influencer, he's letting his influence, his expertise, his experience, his education, all the examples that he brings, he's letting that work for him. So that influence is working for him, and he's being paid based on his influence of how he's able to connect with people, that companies and people that he brings enough value that people want to pay him to share his recommendation of them. Powerful concept. So now, as an influencer, his money's making money for him, and then he takes that money and invests it into the metaverse somewhere. And that investment begins making money for him. So now we've got on the E side, you working, trading time for dollars, and on the other side, you're exchanging dollars for time, so that you can actually buy that time back and be able to now start enjoying the lifestyle that you're looking for. So I say all that to say that the pricing of this ebook. Now you say, whoa, where did that all come from? Well, the pricing of this ebook just really got me going. I said, okay, what they're trying to do is make all the money, blah, blah, blah. But upon closer scrutiny, mathematically, that is a dumbed, okay. I'm going to be now. I ain't trying to get all crazy like some of these other influencers out there, and I'm going to give you the straight truth. At $13.97, it sounds like you're making more money than if you would price it at $9 or $9.97. Okay, but you won't. Amazon will pay you 35% if it's under $2.99 or over $9.99. So $9.99, you'll get 70% commission from Amazon. If it's over $9.99, you'll only get 35%. And if it's $2.99 or up from $2.99 to $9.99, it's a 70% commission. $9.99, $2.99 and below, 35%. $10 and above, 35%. So let's do it mathematically. Mathematically, when you work out the numbers, if oh my goodness, here you go. At $9.99, you're making $6.48. But at $13.97, you're making $4.48. So let's think about that. You're charging your client, you're charging the customer, you're charging the consumer $4 more, and you're making $2 less. That's why it's important to have a publishing coach to help you to navigate the nuances of all of the changes. I mean, this arena changes on a regular basis. How you upload, what the standards are, what the procedures are. All of this changes on a regular basis. So we want you to not only have a great book that's edited and that's formatted right and has a great cover, but we also want you to be ahead of the curve to see what's coming around the curve. You know, several years ago, Create Space was where you would go to publish a book, and then KDP was only for ebooks. And several years ago, Amazon changed the whole platform, and everything became KDP. They did away with Create Space. Same exact thing, but they did away with it. So now how you upload it and how you process it, the procedure became more specific. So there you go. A publishing coach is going to help you to understand that. It's going to help you to navigate. There's over 22 different components that are necessary for you to have correct in order to have that brand building book. Now, I purposely intended to not take this whole half hour time frame this morning, but I guess I'm going to have to go a little bit longer. So they said the mind will only receive as much as the seat will endure. Hey, well, guys, I'm Dr. Johnny O'Mac, and it's this is something that I love to do, something that I enjoy doing, to help an aspiring author to actually get published successfully has been my. I wake up and it just gives me joy, it gives me strength. So it's not labor because I love to do it. So it's an enjoyment. It's something that I would do possibly for free, and I've given out more scholarships than you can imagine, where people needed their book done, but were not in a position to afford it. Because I was in a position at one point where I looked at what I needed, and I didn't have the resources to be able to provide. So for the last 10 years, I've been studying and researching, experimenting, experiencing, gaining expertise, so that now I'm a subject matter expert on the publication process. I don't say that to brag or boast or to impress you, but to express that we realize the value that we're bringing to the marketplace now. I talk about the 4 value propositions, or the 4 values of man. And the people fit into one of 4 categories as far as value is concerned. The first one is no value. If you bring no value to the marketplace, then you really can't expect anything. Many people that have checked out of society, that are living on the bridges, or just out begging, or just there's some no value people at home in their parents' basement, living off their parents, and they're 35 and 40 years old, and they're just haven't accepted the responsibility. They have no value. They went to get a job they don't have any marketable skill. So they're no value, and they're takers. They are, and they think that the world owes them something because they're here. Well, newsflash, it doesn't. You have a serious delinquent bill for your rent from being on the planet, and you're not contributing or bringing anything to it. That's a whole nother subject. I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole, but I'm gonna go down this one. The second type of individual is a low value person. And this is perhaps the most insidious of all, because if you have low value, if you bring a small amount of value, expertise to the table, if you say, okay, hey, I want a job, and they say, okay, what can you do? And you say, I'm willing to do that, and they give you a minimum wage. That's a low value proposition. Low value is that you come in and you there's so much to be done, but this is you're only able to do this much right here, and all this needs to be done. You're low value, and I'm not. This is not a critique or criticism. This is just an observation. So when you look at the Parati rule, I ain't trying to get deep on you, but I'm trying to help you understand. When you look at the Parati rule, it says that 20% of the people do 80% of the work. So that and everything breaks down and extrapolates from that 80-20 trade-off. Well, when you look at the fact that from the Parati standpoint, that 80% of the people are going to be in that low or no value. So then you come up with the next one, which is a high value individual. So you go from low value to high value. The high value individual brings expertise to the table. They bring a skill set. They bring a commodity that the marketplace is looking for. There are situations seeking solutions, and the more value you bring, the higher your value or your expertise that you bring to the table, the more you'll be compensated. So the key is to strive to become a person of high value. The more value you bring, the more increase, impact, and influence that you'll have access to. Now, the fourth type of individual is the most valuable player, and this is kind of funny because the MVP is a person that they may have started off with no value, but they increased their value. Low value, they increased their value. High value, they increased their value. Then they pushed it to the next level, to the next tier, and they said, "Hey, up here, I can handle solutions. I bring so much to the marketplace. I'm the best player on the team because I push myself harder. I train harder. I stay longer. I push myself. I do 100% and then 10% more. I do everything that I possibly can with all the skill sets, all the ability, all the tags that I have. That's the talents, abilities, gifts, and skill sets. I bring all that to the table and I push it to my greatest degree. I look at it and say, dadgummit, somebody said it couldn't be done, but he, with the chuckle, replied that maybe it couldn't, but I'd be one who wouldn't say so till I tried. So he buckled down with the trace of a grin if he worried he hit it and tackled the thing that couldn't be done. And he did it. Are you tackling those things? Are you pushing yourself to the level, to the degree, to the point where you are just doing all you possibly can? You're operating in an avenue of excellence, and you're bringing that excellence, that expertise, that experience, and you're putting it all on the line. Rudyard Kipling says, if you can take 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth, and which is more, everything that's within it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at, that's the MVP. Now, most people don't bring an MVP experience. The high value person looks and says, I want to be the MVP. I want to be the best in this game. I want to be the highest paid. I want to be the one that they look up to. And of course, the low value person, because their mindset is already skewed to begin with, because they're not pushing themselves at all. They're allowing themselves to be average and ordinary and just to go through the basics and do just the minimum. And just in the work world, they pay you just enough so you won't quit, and you do just enough so they won't fire you. And that's average and mediocre. And that mindset has to be removed. But the high value person realizes that they can be the MVP, but they're not pushing themselves doing that extra to achieve it. And then, so both of them, the low value, the no value, the low value, and the high value aspire to be the MVP. Okay. The responsibility, the accountability, the scrutiny of the MVP is something that causes most people to back away from that aspiration because it requires so much more out of you. So the key question is, how much are you willing to give? If it requires this much, are you willing to give that much and more? And that more is what makes the difference of the MVP. So I contend this: don't strive to be the MVP, because there's so much required of it. but you strive instead to be the HVP, the high value person. And if you bring high value to the marketplace, you can expect to begin to live the 5, 6, 7 lifestyle. You can expect to begin to take this book. I'm back to the book. To take this book and polish your brand, create and implement a proven blueprint so that your systems, the automations, everything is working congruently and in order so that it will help you to get paid successfully. And so therefore, you have a profitable business. So this PB4X formula, it takes a lot in order to get to the end result. You have to work on that mindset. Part of that mindset says, hey, if I'm a no value person, dadgummit, I need to get my butt up, go back to school, learn something, go to Facebook University, I'm going to YouTube University, get a skill set, take that skill set, leverage it so that I can bring more value to the marketplace. And don't get bent out of shape or crazy mad because you are saying, okay, I'm ready to be in the marketplace now, and you were no value, and now you just have low value. And you're looking, well, dadgum, how can he get paid that? And we're doing the same thing. Well, you're not doing the same thing because I was a couple minutes left. I was the #1 Mitsubishi salesperson in the world. Okay, and as a result, everybody was gunning for me. I mean, I go to corporate trainings, and they're all their aim and their sight is on me. And of course, in the dealership, everybody was trying to beat me. And I looked at it, and I'm running, but I realized that they're chasing me because I'm the MVP. I learned at that point to become a high value person. And as a person of high value, I brought everything to the marketplace. I was compensated for bringing that to the marketplace, but now I was able to operate with less scrutiny, with less of a target on my back, and finally to walk away from that all, to come to the point where I'm able to finally just say, hey, I'm done with that because I'm going in this direction. It was worth it. I became the MVP, and I realized that the HVP position was paid better, had less stress, and was a lot more valuable. Guys, I've been talking for the last half hour about the things that are important to me, and I wanted, of course, to make sure that they're important to you as well. As I leave, I just want you to know this: I am Dr. John L. Mack. It is my pleasing privilege and pleasure to bring you information for your transformation. And this is the book that you need to get. If you are an aspiring author, I promise you, this is the book that's changing the game. This gives you everything. I had a client recently that I sent a copy of the book, and they was all gung ho. Oh, Dr. Mack, we want you to help us. We want you to help us write a book. We want you to help us, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay, I'm all excited. So I sent them a copy of the book. They read the book, and a week later, they said, well, Dr. Mack, we decided to go ahead on and pursue this on our own. I said, but dadgum, I gave you the method to be able to pursue it. It tells you everything you need to do to publish your book. And then once you got the book published, what's next? Getting that polished brand, getting that proven blueprint, creating that profitable business. We're coming out with a workbook in the next 60 to 90 days. And this workbook, we're going to do a course on this that is going to just flat out position you for success. It'll be a 90-day course, and you'll go from blank page to bestseller. But in the process of that, we're going to help you polish your brand and get you implement a proven blueprint. And we also you will come out with a published book. So we're going to go through the cover design, everything, and I'm going to be teaching it. But those that enroll into the fullness of the course will have our entire team come in, and we're going to work with the manuscript, everything necessary, so that at the end of that 90-day period, you will have a published book. Well, that's my time. Thank you for joining me once again today on Get Published Successfully, the Monday Morning Mastery. And we are excited to be here, and we will be back next week. And remember, everybody has a book in them that somebody wants and needs to read. Anybody can read a book, can write a book with today's technology, but nobody can read a book that's never been written. It's time to get published successfully.